Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and if you're new, thanks for joining in. So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about preventative maintenance for our Kangoo jumps. So if you are a Kangoo jump owner, at some point in time you're going to have to do some preventative maintenance and you're going to have to switch out some of the parts in order to keep your Kangoo jumps fully functional. So I'm going to go over how to replace your rubber padding at the bottom, how to replace your T-Springs, and kind of just go over some of the parts of the Kangoo jump and how you can do your in-home preventative maintenance on your own. If you end up liking this video, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up and comment down below and let me know about your preventative maintenance and your Kangoo jump experiences. So let's get started! Okay, so we'll start off by just identifying the parts of the Kangoo jump. So these are the T-Springs that you can order at jumpboots.com, so you can order these separately if they go bad. And the manufacturer says that they should be swapped out every 80 jumping hours. If you see here on the actual Kangoo jump boot, you'll see my gray T-Springs that I have on this pair. So the model that I'm showing you is a large size of the Kangoo Jumps XR3 SE version. So those do come with an H shell. So the H shell, it goes on the bottom of the Kangoo boot like this. So you can kind of see the H shell there, and then also you have another H shell down here. Next we have the rubber sole part that does go bad the quickest. So if you're running a lot or using a sidewalk or a gravel road, the bottom portion will wear, and it'll wear down just like the bottom of a sole of a shoe. So it will need to be replaced, and it's all under just the discretion of how often you use it and how often you scuff the bottom of the Kangoo jump. So you can see that I have like a newer pair here at the bottom, and you can see how it's held by two little bands that go across here. So when these bands go bad, they'll actually snap off, and then this bottom sole will just end up flopping at the bottom of the boot. On this pair of Kangoo jumps, which is also a large pair of the Kangoo Jump XR3 SE, the T-Springs do need to be swapped out every 80 hours. And so what happens if you don't swap this T-Spring out every 80 jumping hours, and your boot is sitting down on here, and as you're going down and you're bouncing, the T-Spring becomes too stretched out, which causes too much pressure on the H shell. So if your top H shell breaks, you can easily just get a L-shaped wrench, which fits perfectly in the holes here for the screws, and it easily just comes right on off. That's how easy it is to take the H shell off, and then you can just see the bottom of the Kangoo boot there, and you just have the two places where the screws go in right here. So I'm going to begin to go ahead and put my new H shell on that I just ordered. And you can easily place the H shell right through the two holes where we took the screws out. But you will notice that there is a front arrow right here. So that indicates that this is the front piece that goes to the front part of the Kangoo jump. And you'll notice at this end, there is no arrow. So you always want to match the front arrow is with the front part of the Kangoo jump. Alright, and there you have it. We have replaced the H shell that I originally had on there with a new H shell with the arrow in the front. You'll notice when you're getting ready to change out your T-Springs, the old with the new, that the new one, which is the yellow one here, is going to be a lot shorter than the old one. And the reason being is because this one is all old and stretched out. Another indicator that your old T-Spring is ready to be replaced is because you're going to really start to see some fraying here along this portion right here. Now before we get started, we can just easily put a blanket or a towel on the surface so we can lock the Kangoo jump in between our legs for security and just to give us that extra stability while we're changing out the T-Springs. So with our new T-Spring, you're going to want to match the triangle here in the front with the arrow triangle here and this front. And just lock it in just like that. And then you'll notice the back has a circle here. You're gonna match that with the circle right there. So here comes the hard part. And this is where you're gonna wanna apply a lot of pressure from the front down to the bottom. So now you can see the new T-spring is all locked into place onto the new H shell. All right, so now we have two brand new T-springs on both of our Kangoo jumps. So all we need to do now is connect the other H shell for the bottom part. So we'll start with one boot first. So you'll notice that this bottom part right here now has a circle, whereas the top part had a triangle. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you match this piece. See how there's a triangle here? You flip it over and there's a circle. So you're gonna wanna make sure that those match. So when it match circle with circle. And wedge in between your legs and just apply pressure. And there it snaps right in. So you match circle with circle, triangle with triangle, triangle with triangle, and circle with circle. And now we have a fully functioning Kangoo jump boot with brand new T-springs. It's ready to go. Now I'm just gonna safely test out the Kangoo boots here, just to make sure that everything's feeling good. All right, so I think they are all good to go and I'm ready for a good run. So I've showed you how to put the T-spring on, but how do you take the bottom part off and how do you take the T-spring off? In order to take the bottom part off, you're just gonna wedge it in between your legs if that's your preference. Just apply pressure and it pops right out. I'll do a side image here as well. So I'm just gonna apply pressure and it just pops right off. And we're gonna do the same exact thing to remove the old T-spring. So apply pressure on the H shell. And there it pops right off. The last part I'd like to show you guys is how to swap out the rubber sole pad at the bottom of the Kangoo jump. So these do wear out a lot quicker than the T-spring does. So I would say you're probably gonna have to swap this out. Again, just depending on how often you use it and what type of environment that you are Kangoo jumping in. So you can see this one here. I do run outside a lot on concrete or on the sidewalks. So you can see how this is kind of worn down significantly. And a lot of times this little rubber band portion right here will get so thin that it'll just end up snapping in half and the rubber portion will just end up flopping around. So in this case, that's what happened to the other one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and replace both of these sole pads at the bottom of these Kangoo jumps. Usually you can just take a pair of scissors and just cut off the excess portion of this rubber band to get the old rubber sole off. All right, so this rubber piece is now cut. You can see how that just kind of comes off now. All right, and there's the second one. That just takes the whole entire rubber sole completely off the H shell. So you can order the new soles for the bottoms of your Kangoo jumps at jumpboots.com. They do have many accessories that you can purchase, and the shipping is really quick. I usually receive all my products within 2 days. When you get them in the mail and you want to replace this bottom portion, there are going to be 2 notches right here. So whenever you put it down in here, put at the bottom of your Kangoo jump, then those 2 notches are going to be right in line coming right through here. When you do order the new ones, you will receive 2 new bands that you will obviously have to take this H shell off in order to get the sole and the bands placed around the H shell. Once you get your new pad, just place it on the bottom. Make sure the 2 pegs are coming through the bottom of the holes here. You have your new rubber band. Just slide it right on. And then usually I'll use like a knife or a butter knife or something just to kind of pry up this rubber band portion over into these notches here. But you'll need to also do the same thing on the other end, where you put the brand new rubber band up and in this little groove portion right here. And that's going to keep the rubber sole completely on the bottom of the Kangoo jump. So once you replace it completely, you have the 2 new bands completely notched in, and it secures the whole entire rubber sole completely at the bottom of the Kangoo jump. Well guys, I hope you really enjoyed this YouTube video on preventative maintenance for your Kangoo jumps. And if you did, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. I want to hear about any questions that you guys may have regarding swapping out the parts and, you know, suggestions or things that you guys may want to ask. And again, please stay safe out there and don't forget to do your pre-checks and your preventative maintenance for your safety. And I'll see you guys back next time. Take care.